Vishal, thank you so much for talking to ET Now. You know, you've taken charge today, but you've been spending the last few weeks really trying to understand Infosys.
Yes.
What's your biggest takeaway and what in your mind is the biggest concern that needs to be addressed immediately?
The biggest takeaway is it is an incredible company. We solve some of the great problems of our times with software. We design wings of airplanes, we design landing gears, we design great machines, instrumentation systems in cars, everything. And it's extraordinary the kinds of things that this company does and has the talent to do. And the culture of training, of learning, of education. At our university, we can simultaneously train 16,000 people, and I just find that to be an amazing thing. So that has been a great learning experience for me.
And the biggest concern, according to you, which needs to be addressed immediately?
I think there has been a lot that has been going on here recently, and there is a lot of activity, a lot of concern about attrition and things of this. And when I look at the opportunities outside the company, when I look at the capabilities and the skills inside the company, I feel a great sense of confidence that that is going to be okay. And one of the first things that I hope to do is to restore, to instill that sense of confidence in the teams, in the employees, that we have a great set of opportunities in front of us, that we are a distinguished company, an iconic company that really helped us get to this point. And that once I believe we get that confidence in the teams, then I think all the good things will start to follow from there.
Do you think what Infosys needs now is a hands-on CEO?
Well, I don't know any other way, so I hope that is the case. I think in general, the rate of change in the industry has become such that hands-on leaders is the right way to
Because there's
go
some
ahead.
concern that you will be based in the United States, so will that impede the whole reorganization process for Infosys? While you will be close to your clients, the organization is also going through a lot of change. So, was that purely a personal decision, or do you believe it will help Infosys going?
No, I think it will fundamentally help Infosys in going forward. I think that being hands-on and being remote don't necessarily go hand in hand. Here in Bangalore, we have a large delivery center, but there are 5 other delivery centers here in India which are equally large, if some of them are even larger than here. So, being hands-on in times of technology and access and information symmetry that we live in now, it is not contradictory. So I'm counting on that. Of course, I will travel a lot. Praveen will be here, based here primarily, and he will be running the day-to-day operations. So in my absence, he will be fully in charge to run things. And I think that setup, I believe, will work. Plus, don't forget that we have a very large client population in the US. So we have almost 64–65% of our business comes from the United States, about 24% from Europe. So close to 90% is between these two places. And so I believe that having us think of ourselves as a great international company, a great multinational company with an Indian heart and an Indian soul and Indian roots, I think that is the right way to go anyway. So my feeling is that, of course, time will tell, but my feeling is that it is the right setup.
Right. In the last few days in your blogs, you have been talking a lot about innovation, the changing face of software. But innovation usually has a longer gestational period. So does this mean that the turnaround plan for Infosys will further get pushed? What is your take on it?
I mean, the nature of the business is such that no matter what decisions we take now and initiatives we start now, it will take time for them to materialize. That's the inherent latency in the business. So I believe that we have to be patient about that, and we have to ensure that we give ourselves the time to see the fruits of these actions ripen and mature. But on the other hand, Mr. Murthy started a 3-year transformation, so I see ourselves holding to that timeline. I see this move that we have made as a part of that transition. He had said that he will bring in a succession of the CEO was one of his objectives and so forth. So I think from your perspective, I would look at this as holding us to that timeline.
So when should investors judge you? I mean, if you want to ask them for a grace period, would you ask them for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? What would it be?
Now, I think it is too early to tell even how we will reevaluate the metrics and so on. I think you have to think about the arc of the journey and not the next quarter and so on. But like I said, the 3-year transition that Mr. Murthy started, we are 1 year into that. So I think that it would be fair to expect results by the time that this 3-year journey is over.
And when will Vishal Sikka judge himself as the CEO of Infosys?
I think that if Infosys manages, if Infosys gets the confidence, which I am told, one of the things I have learned recently is that Infosys used to have this confidence. That once Infosys gets this confidence that we can do anything, then I believe that I will have succeeded. That if there is any great software problem out there that has to be solved, and if we find it within ourselves to be able to solve it, I think that will be a very cool, great state to be in, to be one of the great respected IT leadership companies in the world, if not the great one. And I see myself in that capacity, thinking about us as instilling that confidence, that inspiration that we can solve the great purposeful problems of our times and build those.
Give us, 2 or 3 things that you will do immediately to bring back that confidence, into Infy employees, to ensure that growth starts kicking in again, momentum starts kicking in again.
We are going to create immediately a culture of engagement where we can continuously work with our employees. Praveen and I started we did an initiative called Murmuration, where we invited feedback from all Infosians around the world, and we had incredible feedback on that. 27,000 people read his mail and watched my video, and we asked them 3 questions and wanted to get their input on that. And 2,700 proposals came to us, which we are in the process of evaluating. So we are starting a culture of engagement. Like I said, I'm starting this $100 million fund that we recently got approval for from our shareholders and from the board. So I want to put that to effect immediately, starting today, towards startups and investing in outside innovation and so forth. Things of that nature. That I want to start new kinds of classes. I'm looking forward to doing a class on artificial intelligence, and some of my friends will help put this together. And I'm hoping to do, if I can find the time in all the work that I have to do a couple of these lectures in that myself, I would love to do that. So, things like that.
Right. I understand Mr. Kamath also has been spending a lot of time recently sitting in on performance reviews, meeting key resources. How is it being like working with Kamath, and is he going to be a very hands-on chairman as well this time around?
Well, he is one of the main reasons that I am here. I have an incredible amount of respect for him, and he has been a mentor to me in many ways. So I'm really looking forward to working with him. He's of course a distinguished business leader of India and on the boards of many international companies. So I'm really looking forward to an opportunity to work with him. And yes, he has been sitting in on our meetings, on our reviews, and giving his incredible insights and feedback. So I'm really counting on that and looking forward to that.
It's also pretty hard to imagine an Infosys minus Murthy. So will you also be seeking advice from Narayana Murthy?
Of course. I will absolutely be seeking advice. I have already been doing that. I have been talking to him. He has made it very clear that he wants me to make sure that I have a free room to work, but I told him that I would be completely remiss, if not foolish, if I did not seek his advice. He's such an icon, such a pioneer in our industry and in the country that anyone in my position would be foolish to not seek his advice. So I'm counting on that. I have already been picking his brain, and so I really plan to continue to do that, as well as Chris and Shivu and others, because of this vast experience that they have had.
Lastly, Vishal, because I know you're running out of time, what about Rohan Murthy? Do you envisage a role for him in the new Infosys?
He doesn't want to be involved with the company anymore with all that has happened recently, but he's such a brilliant young man, such an intelligent man. Anyone with a degree in computer science from Cornell and Harvard, he's just a brilliant kid, and I would love to see him be associated in the company in some way because of the deep knowledge that he has and because of just the brilliant man that he is. But it is of course entirely his decision.
Right. Vishal, here's hoping it's achhe din for Infosys as well. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Chandra. Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.